My name is Sean Vimalaratne. I come from the Golden Shores of Sri Lanka. I am of mixed ethnic blend of Sinhalese and Burgher. Burgher is the Dutch word for citizen, which is the word used to describe Sri Lankans who are of mixed race from colonial settlers.
My name is Adam Banori. I'm 23 years old. I am from Pakistan and Afghanistan, but I've been born and raised in Tamaki.
Because I studied design in uni, and no regrets doing that, but I think I was taught a very Western approach to creativity. But I think in the last few years I have started to tightly weave my South Asianness and my queerness with creativity.
It's definitely been a very difficult journey. My family is very Muslim, very traditional Muslim, but that's not to say that, and there hasn't always been people who have always been there and have made it a lot easier. Said some of the most amazing people I've met in the entire world have been Muslim people. One of my closest friends is an Afghan Muslim girl. Some of the most profound relationships I've had in my life have been with Muslims. I think when you meet someone who has an understanding of where you come from and your culture, and you still have empathy for each other and understanding, I think that's it can be extremely profound and life-changing. I think it's definitely changing, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done.
We are at Satya Chai Lounge Sandringham, and it is an iconic location. I just feel within the South Asian culture in general, being in Sandringham, and finally feel like Sandringham is our little, we're not the minority in this little bubble. So we're here in Satya Chai Lounge where we are doing our Beyond Taboos, representing us, queer South Asian exhibition. I'm Amita Kala, and I am the director and founder of Auntie's House. I am a third generation Gujarati born in South Africa and moved to Aotearoa in 2001 when I was 10. And so my journey of even reclaiming who I am has been so complex.
I think when I think of Sandringham, I see it as small Indian town. I just love driving past it, and it gives me a little bit of a taste of what it's like when I go back to India. So I think connecting it to a central location where we feel a little bit at home is so important. And I think just in Satya with all the walls and the way they look, it's not clean, it's not clear and cut like a proper gallery is. I think that was really important because it's more authentic and it feels more like us.
Oh, when we did our research, we literally saw carvings in stone of queer evidence. So if that's not enough for us to be wait, we really have just been here. Reclaiming our identity is so important because it's literally existed and it's just been blurred.
It's a little bit that acceptance is just not present. And so if we actually look back and look at where our ancestors were and how they treated the queer people among them or treated gender fluidity and all of that, it was very present and it was very accepted. And it almost feels a little bit like we're being gaslighted, like it never existed in the first place. And like a lot of people have said as well, I think a lot of that is because the documentation is so limited. People often talk about how in Eastern cultures, the way of documentation, a lot of it is verbal, a lot of it is through storytelling and passing it down generation to generation versus the more Western approach of physically documenting things, like writing things down or research and all that kind of stuff. And so I think the representation and the work that we strive to do is really important to try and contribute to the physical documentation of things as well. So not even just the collage art itself, but all the write-ups we did around that or all the research that Andy did prior. I feel like those parts have been really important to the whole, picture of reclamation and representation.
I think I fuel up every time I am in these spaces. This kind of work we do, hopefully in a few generations to come, shouldn't be the work we're doing. We should be able to just celebrate mundanity and doing what we want rather than fighting for just existence.
I think the representation in South Asian media is quite one-dimensional. There's a lot of limitations that we place on ourselves as South Asian people to appease the West, or like it's like, you know, you have to be skinny and you have to be light skinned, and I think like especially like colorism is, I think, also quite a big issue.
I think it's really important because it says we're still here and we're not going to change. The world might be changing, the world might be, as you might say, taking a few steps back, but we're going to keep forward. We're not going back with them. And I think that's really important.